In 1963, you could get a home here for $14,250 and free champagne. In today's market, you got condos starting at just over $600,000 and single-family homes starting in the $900,000 range. And I'm talking about Springtown. Springtown in Livermore sits on one of California's most rarest ecosystems. Curious? I'm about to tell you why this failed retirement community has turned into one of California's hidden gold mines, but shh, don't tell anyone. Let's dive in. What if I told you that there's a neighborhood in Livermore that was originally developed for people 50 years and older? Sounds kind of weird now, but that's how Springtown first got started. Back in 1962, a company called Marnell Development started building on 1,000 acres of land. Their goal, create California's second retirement community for active adults. They'd already done something similar in Palm City near Coachella, and it worked out really well. The land they picked was an empty valley just northeast of Livermore. The city had only added it a month earlier, and the rules super strict. You had to be over 50 to buy here. Kids over 18, they could come visit, but they weren't allowed to stay here.
No sleepovers at grandma's.
No sleepovers at grandma's. It was intended to be a quiet community, but what made that such a big deal was at the time in 1962, communities just for older adults weren't really a thing. And these homes were designed for easier living, like no steps at the front door, hand railings, things we now refer to as universal design, but back then it wasn't really a thing. And the location was also perfect. Since the land was empty, they didn't have to deal with tearing anything down. They could simply jump in and build anything they wanted. And since the city had already developed the land, it was clear that they wanted to work with builders to develop this area. And now here's the fun part. When they launched this community, the grand opening was 4 days long, and they sold the 2 and 3 bedroom homes starting at $14,250, and they served free champagne the entire time. Additionally, they had live music going the entire time. It really felt more like a party than a real estate tour. And the big finale, they switched on this 40-foot fountain in the middle of a pond. The pond is still there, the fountain is gone, and now it's referred to as the duck pond, and there's tons of ducks and geese there all year round. Later, that area would become a pretty big deal for the neighborhood, but for a unique reason, but we'll get to that later. And with the $14,250 price tag, that would translate into $140,000 in today's money, which is clearly a lot less than the homes are selling for. It's insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
But the whole 50 thing and older didn't last at all, and we're gonna get into why. But before we get to that part of how Springtown has transformed, don't forget to like and subscribe for tons more videos on how Livermore is transforming today.
So here's the thing, in the last 2 years, Springtown has totally flipped. It's totally changed, and the story gets even more interesting. In October 1964, Sproul Homes started moving in as a new developer in Springtown with a different view. They had new homes with no age restriction. Families of all ages were welcome. We're talking about some fancy new features for this development. 2 full bathrooms, air conditioning, and sunken living rooms. The switch from Marnell to Sproul Homes really signaled a change in thinking for where people were living in the Bay Area. Sproul realized that housing was really needed and age restrictions weren't gonna help people get the homes that they needed. By 1967, just 3 years later, the senior homes were being sold to younger families faster than ever. The 50 and older age restriction had gone by the wayside. If that transformation blew your mind, just wait until you see what it looks like now, but we'll get to that later. So in a total of just 5 years, Springtown went from a retirement-only community to one for people of all ages, signifying how housing needs were changing all across the Bay Area. What's really cool is how easily Springtown made that change, because some of those senior homes just weren't designed for families, but they made it work. The streets here are wide, the lots are bigger, and with the park space and community space available, it makes sense for people of all ages. It didn't stop there. In the 1980s, KB Homes came in and started developing connected homes that were around 1,000 to 1,300 square feet. And then in the 90s, single family homes started being developed with 3 to 4 bedrooms and larger lots.
Fun fact, my first home I ever purchased was a connected home right here in Springtown, around the corner from where we're standing now. It was a duet, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath.
It's a great place to start. It is. Each of these phases really reflected what consumers wanted during that time. In the 80s, it was small, smart, efficient spaces. And in the 90s, we were ready for more space to grow into. But there's something hidden here that most people don't know about. And it's what makes this spot one of the coolest and most unique places in all of California.
Hidden right here in Springtown is one of California's most rarest ecosystems that homes plants that don't grow anywhere else. It's called the Springtown alkali sink, and it is located in the northeast part of Livermore Valley, just north of Highway 580. And it's not just another patch of land. This place is one of a kind. It's home to some of the state's most rarest plants, animals, and birds. It's shaped by ancient ocean deposits and sandstone from millions of years ago. So the ground ended up with salty soil, like really salty. Most plants can survive here, and they only grow in places like this. And what makes the area so special, well, a long time ago, this entire place was actually underwater. When the ocean disappeared, it left behind salty minerals in the soil, and most plants can't survive that. But some evolved and thrived here, which makes this area have plants that only grow in this type of environment. The alkali sink isn't just one type of land, it's made up of different connected parts, like salt-loving bush scrub, alkali grasslands, seasonal pools, and wildflower meadows. And they all support different types of wildlife throughout the year. The seasonal pools, for example, they fill up during winter and dry out during summer, and many animals survive on that cycle. But just wait until I tell you what this golf course turned into. Springtown is full of surprises. We'll get to that in a minute. But here's the most amazing part. This area is home to some of California's most endangered plants. And that's why protecting this land has become such a big deal. Over the years, a lot has been lost. Today, only about 1/4 of the ecosystem still remains. So saving what's left is absolutely crucial. Luckily, people are working hard to help, and there's even a group that was formed called Friends of Springtown Preserve. They're a team of teachers, scientists, and volunteers who work together to protect and restore the area. They use smart science, teamwork, and education to make sure these plants and animals can survive. But that's not the only thing that makes Livermore so special. Wait until you see what they turned the old golf course into.
When the old 85-acre Springtown golf course shut down, the city didn't just leave it, they turned it into something awesome. The city of Livermore reached out to residents and scheduled tons of town halls where neighbors could get together to share ideas, and the result is a plan that reflects what the community asked for. So here's what's coming. A brand new 6-acre park near Bluebell Drive with a playground, sports and fitness area, picnic spots with shade and outlets, walking and biking paths, a community garden, and even public restrooms. There's also a special trail that connects to an 18-hole golf course in the huge 50-acre open space. That park's already being taken care of by the city, while the Livermore Area Recreation and Parks District will run the new park. Choosing to create a new disc golf course was a strategic move by the city. It requires less water, less chemicals, and it's something that residents of all ages can enjoy. The whole thing was designed by RRM Design Group after those public workshops. They're also adding a 2-mile walking trail, splash pad, playgrounds, a dog park, play courts, outdoor classroom, nature play areas, and learning stations about the rare plants and animals living nearby. So as you can see, it's not just a park. It's a place where people of all ages can relax and learn about the amazing nature around them. If you weren't sold on this development for any reason, when you see how it affects our home prices positively, it's clear this was a great plan.
So here's what you should know about living in Livermore right now. Today, Springtown is a well-established neighborhood that has over 1,700 homes and 4,500 residents living here. While that number might seem small, that's actually a good thing. That means this area is growing at a steady pace, not too fast, not too slow, so it still keeps that community vibe without getting overcrowded. So from 2017 to 2022, the average home price grew about 1.2%. Basically, Springtown is still an area that people want to move, but it hasn't lost what makes it so special.
With just over 4,000 people living in 1,700 homes, it really creates the perfect balance that you want in your community. Not too crowded and not too lonely. That balance makes this area great for families of all kinds. So even though it started out as a retirement community, it's now become a place that works for families of all ages.
So let's talk about the housing market. Homes in Springtown range from about $650,000 all the way up to about $1.8 million, depending on size, location, and upgrades. And most of the homes were built in the 1960s and 1970s, with some newer ones like where we are standing right now. This price range shows that there truly is something for everyone here in Springtown. The older homes are generally generally well built with larger lots so families can come in and customize them like they want to do. Whereas the newer ones are move-in ready with smaller lots and made for a more modern, updated lifestyle.
The condos and townhomes here sell from anywhere between $540,000 to $1.1 million. There are options if you need to be a little more budget friendly or ready to go a little fancier. The variety in housing you find here is rare, especially in the Bay Area. Most Bay Area neighborhoods tend to have homes that look the same. Springtown is keeping the mix, so more people with different needs and budgets can find a home here. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to downsize, don't overlook Springtown.
Now let's talk about the schools. Springtown is close to some highly rated ones. Altamont Creek Elementary and Andrew North Christensen Middle School are right in the neighborhood, and lots of kids can even walk there. Being able to walk to school is a big deal for Bay Area families. It saves time and it gives kids a chance to be a little bit more independent. When kids walk to school, they often get to know their neighbors better, and it builds those strong connections that make for a great community. And programs at Livermore High School make a lot of sense here in Springtown. As we know, Springtown is home to one of California's most rarest ecosystems. So it's awesome that students can study environmental engineering and actually see those ideas in action right where they live.
Springtown's layout is also super thoughtful. There are paved trails connecting different parks from North Front Park in the southeast all the way to Marlin Pound Area Park in the northwest. So you can walk, jog, or bike around and still enjoy the quiet suburban feel that makes Springtown so enjoyable.
And just outside the neighborhood, you got Brushy Peak Regional Reserve. It's a huge area filled with grassland, wildflowers, and tons of hiking trails. Whether you're into long hikes or just want to relax outside, it truly is a great spot.
The Livermore Area Recreation and Park District even runs special programs using their nature around Springtown. They do science camps and bird watching trips to the Springtown Preserve. It's known as a birding hotspot where you might see rare water birds and shorebirds you can't find in most local parks.
So yeah, if you're buying a home here, you're not just buying a home, you're moving into a community that values nature, education, and a high quality of life. So Springtown isn't like anywhere else. It's a place where people care about keeping the good stuff for the next generation too.
When my family moved here from Ohio, I feel like the people here were gatekeeping Springtown. There's a lot of great things to enjoy about living out here.
What started out as a retirement community became a place where endangered species live amongst modern homes. You don't get that everywhere.
It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
What used to be a golf course is now open space, and that really shows what conservation and modern times can look like when they work together.
Springtown is a great example of thoughtful suburban growth. If you're thinking about buying or selling in Springtown, please reach out to us at hello@sellwithaeg.com.
Let's make 2025 the year you buy a home in Springtown.
And don't go just yet. If you're liking these videos about all that Livermore has to offer, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for plenty more videos on different neighborhoods throughout Livermore.